Okay, guys. So now we've just walked you through the group focus elements aspect of things. Now I just want to show you a bit about. I'm not really going to put this group on top here because I really don't like it. I think it's unnecessary. So I'm just going to go into this group here underneath. So you have, what do we have here really? So we have like a centered group, maybe about 960 pixels, with this being 640, and so that's just like a 640 by a 320, and then within here you have this space of 280 to work with this filtering group, and then here you have this space of 600 to work with this group of the jobs. So I'm just going to quickly just design that very quickly, and so I'm going to go into here into the Upwork dummy, which is the main page, and I am going to get myself a group. And I'm going to post that group here. I'm going to call this the group body. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a wireframe kind of color, which is going to be this blue, but it's going to be light blue, and I'm just going to make it an opacity of 10%. I'm going to call this style, create a new style. I'm going to call this style wire, right? And that will be like my wireframe. What just happened? Aha, edit the style, make this blue, make this light blue, and then give you an opacity of 10%. Okay, I think it was a bit too dark. Yeah, it's okay. So this is my group wire, and I want this to be a row. Okay, I don't want it to be fixed, no, but I want it to have a max width of 960 pixels. I want it to be center aligned, and I want the height to be minimum of 600. Not that that matters, I just want it to extend so that I can build properly. Alright, so I'm just going to bring this down a bit. Now, in here, I'm going to get another group, and I'm going to paste that group in here. I'm going to call this group filter. This is going to be a column group, and it's not going to have a fixed width, but it will have a max width of 320 pixels, and the minimum height really. But I want it to extend from top to bottom. So that's this vertical alignment. I want it to extend from top to bottom, and I want this to be wire. Right. So for some reason, this should be, it's not overlapping each other. Okay. So I'm going to copy and paste this. Now this I'm going to make 320 pixels, and this is going to be filter group jobs. This will be 640. So 640 plus 320 will give you 960 pixels. That's really what I'm trying to go for. So you have 640 by the left, 320 by the right. All right. So once we have taken care of that, and we have that there, now what do we have here? I'm going to start with this. So first of all, I'm going to give this a padding of 20 pixels all around. So I have a padding of 20 pixels inside group jobs. You know what? I can barely see anything with what's going on here. So I'm just gonna make this opacity 100% and then make this color. Yeah, because it's, yeah, I think it's, you can barely see anything going on there. All right. So next thing I am next thing I'm gonna do is I am going to just get myself this search group, and I'm gonna have this um by the side. This is an icon, which when you click on this, you just click on this. So this is going to be an input, and this is going to be, of course, an icon that just causes me to press enter. So I'm going to look for an input element. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to call this input search jobs. And what do we have here? We have search for jobs. So I'm just going to use the same thing, search for jobs, and I'll make this 50 pixels. Okay, before we go into the pixels, let's make let's make the border to be EB, which is okay. 10 pixels by the side, that's okay too. 300, that's okay. Um, no, don't make this fixed width. Remove this, and then make the height 50. All right. Okay. So this is a column. So what I will do now is I will get myself an icon. Now paste the icon here. Now look for search, and I will change this to white, and I will make it 20 by 20 pixels, and then I will give it a padding. Not sure if this would work. No, it's not gonna work. Oh, that's not gonna work. No. Another thing I like to do is instead of doing this, I just copy and paste this. Copy and paste this FA search, and I look for a text element. I just put that there, and I make this 20, and I paste this bit of code from FA search. What have I done? Apparently, I did not get it. Sorry. Yeah, I'll just center my text element, and I would center vertically. Where's the horizon? Yeah, center the text vertically, and I will give my text a bit of padding of 5 pixels round, and I would make the height to be 50, so just 50 by 50, and then I will make the color of my text white, and I will give my text a background of my color, which is this, and I can give it an individual padding to the right and to the left. So that's top right. I can make this 10, then bottom right, I can make this 10. And then I just group these elements into a row container. So what I will do is I'll remove the padding. I remove this here. I remove and turn this to 0, and select the first input here and just make this white. There's no need to make it white. What I want to do is I want to give it a roundness of 10. That's all. And then make it solid. Um, there's no need for that. Oh, you know what? Let's just make it solid EB, EB, EB. Yeah. Okay, this is wrong. It shouldn't be top left. It should be top right and bottom right. Yeah, there we go. And it should be 50 by 50, which it is. And yeah, so I like it. It's looking good. So when this text is over, change the background color to darker. Yeah. Okay. This input seems to be a problem. So I'm just gonna make the 0, and I'm gonna define each border independently. None, 10, none, 0, bottom right, none, 0, and bottom left is none, but then make this 10. Right. So there we have it. Yeah. Now it looks the way I want it to look. Beautiful. So after we have that, we now have this like count 295 jobs available. I'm not really gonna do this sorting. Or you know, well, we can do the sorting because it's just a drop down. So let's go into that. So first of all, I would make this. I'm gonna apply a gap spacing of 20 pixels, and then I will get a text element, paste it here, and then I will call this 295 jobs. So 295 jobs found. 295 jobs found. Right. And this is I'm gonna bold this, make this bold, and I am going to make this style a body, which I am going to make enter 500. Yeah, 16 is okay. And then just remove this fixed width element, remove the minimum height, and fix width to content. That's okay. And then here we're going to insert the dynamic data, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a search for the job offers, and we're just going to put the count there. So it's the total amount of jobs within our application that's going to show there. And now what we are going to do is to the right, we're going to create like this sorting system from newest to um, relevance. And I don't really have a criteria for relevance here. So maybe I'll just put newest and oldest. So that would be sort. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. I'm going to remove this BB. I'm going to call this sort. And I will get a drop down. And I'll just put newest, oldest. So there'll be static options. And, you know, then the default value would be, no, not the default value. Okay. So the placeholder would be newest. Now it's just, you know, can just leave it as it is. And then if I here, I'm gonna make this 150 pixels by 40 pixels. So then I would join these two together in a row column. I call this group sort. By gap spacing of 10 pixels column. Fit to element. And then I'm just gonna center align this. And make it 700 be bolder. Then I'm going to take this group, I'm going to take this group, this text, and then I would put them in a row column. I don't need to put a gap spacing, I just need to spread them apart from left to right, and then make this center aligned. Yeah. So there we have this, spread from left to right, top to bottom. Right. So you have it sort. I just put it as newest first, then select which one you want, oldest and newest. What we can do is just say this input should not be empty, and it will always put one of those there. Now we are going to just build out this repeating group very quickly and this highlighting functionality. So you have a repeating group here. So I'm just going to grab a repeating group. I'm going to draw it here. I would call this repeating group jobs, and it's job offers, and just do a search for all the job offers, right? And you can sort by creation date. Descending, yes. So descending is from you know, from the oldest, or from the oldest to the youngest. Descending from the newest is no. So what I can now then have is have a conditional statement that when the drop down is value is newest, and data source would be from no. But also when the drop down's value is oldest, data source value, just copy and paste this. Yes, pretty basic stuff, right? And then I'm just gonna do a bit of design here, move this fixed width, bring this down. Let's just make it 300 for now. Then I am going to remove the minimum rows, and I'm also going to make it, let's just make it 300 at both. So Yeah, set the fixed amount of columns is one. So yes, we just have one column, and I'm going to remove the separator. I might put it back, you know, but for now I'll remove it. So that's this separator that we have here. So now I will get a group which I'm going to place inside of this repeating group, and I would get the group here. I'm just going to copy and paste it. Excuse me. Copy, paste it inside here. So this is group job, and it's a job offer, and it's going to be the current sales jobs offer, and it's going to be a column. It's going to. I need to change this to a column as well. It's going to be. It's not going to be fixed width, and it's not going to have a minimum width. Minimum height is going to be 300 pixels. So we're just going to. Oh. So I'm just going to put some 20 pixels padding all around, and I will get a text element and begin to add, the text inside. So the first text that we're going to add is, I believe, the job, the title of the job. So I'm just going to clear this, clear everything. So this would be insert parent jobs offers title. I'm going to make this 18, and it's going to be 700. Second thing we're going to add is the hours. So let's just make this 10 pixels padding. 10 pixels to the side. So with this, I would use for the hourly or fixed rates, I'm going to use um, 14. I'm going to use 300, and this is going to be, I believe this is going to be the category. I'm not sure. Category display. Let's check our data and look at job offers. So let's look at the category. Now it's not category. It's going to be, it's not hours. It's going to be the budget type. So I'm just going to put that, and then I'm going to put an icon. So you have the budget type, whether it's hourly or fixed rate, and then you have the budget itself. So I'm just going to put a dollar sign here. I'm going to put parent group jobs offers. I'm going to put the budget rate. There we have it. And what I can do is with the rich text, I can make this bold so that it just stands out and people see the offer there. Then you have the description, which I'm just going to take a text element again, copy and paste, and I am going to make this 500. I'm going to make this 16. This is going to be the description. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to define the length, right? The length of the of this basically of this group. So rather than make this, I'm just going to say I want the length to be 100. So if the person is writing beyond 100, beyond 100 um, behind 100 max height, it's going to cut off, you know, it's going to cut off that person's text, right? So that's a way of me limiting the characters and all of that. So, all right. So, lastly, we have the, basically, this is another repeating group in the repeating group, which is the categories, categories of the page. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a repeating group, another repeating group, and here we have it. So, I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to paste this here. Just call this categories, right? And it's just one column. Well, you're just going to remove this, and you're going to remove this as well, and you're going to remove this, right? And just make the minimum with 100. And not that this really matters, just, so I can just make this column for now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to choose this wrapped horizontally, option. And what I'm going to do is, since it's going to go from row to row, I'm just going to give it a padding of 10 pixels left and right. And then I will take, um, let's just take this, paste this inside. Then I just remove all of this, and I remove all of this. And then this repeating group is going to be category. And what is going to be is this parent groups offers categories. Now it should be a list of, hold on, let's check this. Also, we have just one category. We don't have two, three, four categories. So that even makes it simpler. So just delete all of this. But if you were going to have multiple categories, what you would have done there is you would have, used that wrapping functionality to basically create, you know, you'd have used that to create like a group. So I'm just going to put 5 pixels padding all around. I'm going to make this 14. I'm going to make it white, and I am going to give it, I'm going to make the roundness 20, and I'm going to give it a background style of, uh, let's make it blue. And then the padding, I'm going to make it 10 to the left and 10 to the right, just so that there's a bit more space. And here, I'm just going to call this the parent group jobs offers category display. Okay, and with that, I believe you've come to the end of the particular, um, you've come to the end of that particular design, right? So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go back into the repeating group, select the first parent, and I will put the separator solid. I'm going to make it EB, EB, EB. But then I'm also going to do something that when this group is hovered, I should change the background style, color, and change the background color to FA, FA, FA. right? And then I'm going to give it the roundness of 10 pixels by the side. Okay, so last thing I'm going to do is I am going to change the edit style of wire. I'm going to remove this and change it to none. And I'll see how this looks. Okay, well, it's looking a bit to the left and to the right. It's not like this where you have it standard standing all by itself. And I think that's because we didn't put the border for the group. So let's do that now. First of all, let's make this rather than 20 pixels, let's make it 40, a bit bigger. And that gives us a bit smaller padding left, right, but it's okay. And then let's make this 20 pixels to the left, to the yeah. Then we'll make this a border style of solid EB. Then just give this 20 pixels round. Okay, so let's see what that looks like now. Yeah. Last thing I want to do is I want to give this a I want to give this a solid border of yeah. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. I think I'm liking how it looks. I think it's looking good. And so you have this, and it gets highlighted, you know, it gets highlighted, but it's not where I want it to be yet, but it's looking good. So you can see the repeating group of the jobs and sort from oldest to youngest. So this is the oldest, and you can sort from the youngest. Yeah, there we have it. So really nice. I mean, really, and you can see just have 7 jobs found. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. So that's just the basic functionality for building something, you know, very similar to what we have here on Upwork. So maybe I can just give this group, you know, select first parent, just give it a bit of space, like a margin, 40 pixels. Yeah, yeah, I think it's looking good. Looks good. All right, guys. So I'll see you in the next video where we're going to talk about the filtering system. And you can go ahead to also integrate this search for jobs. You can check my other tutorials that talks about that. Right. So in the next video, we're going to talk about the filtering system, and then we'll integrate this search functionality. And all right. So I'll see you then. Bye bye.